Hello everyone and welcome to episode 27 of my Maidstone United save. And as you can see, it's the end of season review episode. If you didn't watch the last episode, we got absolutely annihilated away at Grimsby Town in the playoff semi-final. Ended what was a very good season, a season in which we exceeded expectations. It ended it on a very sour note. We didn't put up much of a fight. We got beat 5-1. And it's another season in the National League to look forward to. I haven't given myself much time to reflect, so I'm still extremely disappointed at the manner in which we lost. If we'd put up a fight and lost by a single goal or whatever, I wouldn't have been disappointed too much. I would have been disappointed, obviously, but I wouldn't have been that disappointed. But as it stands, I am still distraught at losing in the manner in which we did. It was the biggest game of the players' lives, biggest game in the club's history since they got reformed in '92, and they blew it. Absolutely blew it. And as I said at the end of the last season, I'm going to be looking at trying to bring in players that are a bit more determined, players that can perform better in big matches. But for now, we're going to look back at that season and find the positives, because we did exceed expectations. We were tipped to avoid relegation. The new arrivals that came in. Signing of the season, as you can see, was Odell Afire, 21-year-old who came in from Brighton. Started 19 games for 16 appearances off the bench, 2 goals, 2 assists on a 7.21. Says there, the board are pleased with the deal to sign Odell Afire, mainly due to getting the player to agree to a lower wage than we would have expected to pay someone of his ability. I think he gets a pay rise for this season, but we have got ourselves a very, very good midfielder there, and a very young midfielder who's only going to get better. Alfie Lloyd, who we had on loan from QPR. I'm possibly going to look at bringing him back. 7.25, 29 starts, 4 sub appearances, 7 goals and 10 assists. Possibly going to look at bringing him back. Teddy Howe, the attacking fullback, 34 appearances for 7.18. Ethan Wassell, who came in late in the season, 16 starts, 7.05. Naughty, 7.04. He is 29 now, so probably going to look to replace him. Swiderski got a 7.03. Ironside, just over a 7 rating. Scored 7 goals for us in the end. A few of them were from the penalty spot. Didn't quite live up to what I thought he would. Tom Harrison got a 6.95. Morris got a 6.95, and then the others didn't really do much. So, to be fair, 6.8 something isn't the worst. It means that they had some good games and some poor games. I mean, like Tomlinson scored 7 goals and 4 assists, but for a winger, only 4 assists isn't up to scratch really. So we get ratings for everything that the board have done. We've got an A* for Alfie Lloyd, B- for Teddy Howe, an A+ for Ethan Wassell. We had some really good signings. Like I said, Afire won the star. Teddy Howe, Ethan Wassell, will be looking to keep them in our defence, and Alfie Lloyd I will be hoping to try and bring back, probably, unless I can find someone better. Season to remember. We consistently defied the odds from the outset, securing a playoff place, but were unable to finish the job at the end of the campaign, and that mainly was down to the fact that we only won, was it 1 in 5 between the 9th of March and the 29th of March. and that came after a really good run of wins. But there was also a patch earlier on in the season. There. Look. That there. When I was talking about it before, I said there was that patch of only 1 win in 5 or 1 win in 6, wherever it was. But it's that. Started the season brilliantly. And then it all fell apart after the defeat at Kings Lynn. We had an injury crisis. Players just couldn't stay fit. And we won 1 in 8 with 6 defeats. So when we look back at our season and we wonder why we didn't get promoted, that is why. 7-0 defeat at Bromley was the low point of the season. But we only finished 8 points off the top of the table. Turn a couple of the draws or a couple of those wins into results, and it could have been a completely different story, but it unfolded. We were expected to avoid a relegation battle. It actually, the minimum expectation at the beginning of the season was avoid relegation. It wasn't avoid a relegation battle, it was avoid relegation. That's changed. And what I don't understand here is the board are pleased that the team reached semi-final of Vanarama National Playoff. I got a C+. We were expected to avoid relegation. We finished 6th in the table and got to the playoff semi-final, and I get a C+. Why is that not an A? FA Cup, we were knocked out in the second round by Rochdale. Minimum expectation was reach the first round. We did reach the first round. Made it hard for ourselves. Needed a replay against Weymouth. The FA Trophy, we got to the 5th round. Again, replay against Southend before we beat them. And then we lost to Gateshead on penalties, which is another disappointment, to be fair. Moments to remember in the season. Our biggest win was 4-0 away at Barnet. Our match to remember was a 3-0 win away at Harrogate, where Jack Barham got a hat-trick with 2 penalties. To be honest, if I look back, there'll be other matches that I'll remember more than I remember this one. And goal of the season came from Regan Booty in the 1-1 draw away at Chesterfield at the beginning of September, when we were playing really well at the start of the season. The finances. Club reputation has stayed the same, despite the fact that we exceeded all expectations. We're still only a 1.5-star regional club with a local reputation. Sponsorship is down from last season. £80,000 less this season what we had last season. Broadcast revenue is up, corporate and hospitality is up, competition prize money is down, which kind of weird, but I suppose we did win the division last year. Matchday commercial and retail is up by almost it took almost £500,000, so it's up by 160 odd thousand more. Sold 1,122 shirts. Regan Booty, most popular. Swiderski, Barham, Fire and Ironside. Got a decision to make about Jack Barham, because he was our top scorer again, but he is dropping in ability. His ability is getting worse. Our team of the season, best 11, was Parks, Howe, Carragher, Harrison, Amos, Phillips, Booty, Swiderski, Lloyd, Tomlinson and Barham. Out of those players, Carragher was on loan. He got 6.99. It was his second season on loan with us. Not sure if we're going to be able to get him back on loan again. And I'm not sure if I want to. He has made 78 appearances for us over the course of the last 2 seasons. He is only 21. But I don't know whether it's time to actually look for a more permanent central defensive pairing. Our defence was what let us down this season, really. And the left-sided attacking midfield wasn't great either. Barham, 23 goals, 1 assist on a 7.03 for the season. But we'll have a look at him in a minute and I'll show you why I'm looking at getting rid. Manager awards. I got one manager of the month back on the first month of the season. Club awards. Fans player of the season was Regan Booty. Young player of the season, Alfie Lloyd. Signing of the season, as we already said, was Odell Afire. Goal of the season, Regan Booty. Top goal scorer, Jack Barham with 23. Regan Booty most assists with 10. 9 man of the match awards for Booty as well. Highest average rating for Booty of a 7.4. And the most passes completed per 90 minutes was Ben Dempsey. To be honest, he's been pretty awful for us, to be honest, when he's played. But he did complete the most passes in 90 minutes. Record breakers. Jack Barham increases, or he becomes the club record goal scorer. He scored 98 goals for us in his time. So maybe I will keep him around. Well, I think he's still under contract anyway. I don't know if his contract runs out at the end of the season, but I might keep him around just to see if he can score those 2 goals to get him to 100. Because I'm sentimental like that. Adam Parks, 21 clean sheets, becomes the record for the most clean sheets by a player in a season. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our season review. But, like I said, I want to look at Jack Barham. He's still down as a 2-star, as a poacher or pressing forward. I've been playing him as a target forward for the last 2 seasons. But he's now down as emergency backup. We've got him under contract as an important player on £1,000 a week. That £1,000 a week could go elsewhere. Yes, if you look at his career stats, his league, he scored 17 goals in the league. All competition, 23 goals. But when you look back at his form, I didn't use him much towards the end of the season. But he weren't really scoring. I mean, he started there, only got a 6.6. A few substitute appearances, didn't score. He wasn't. And he scored, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 appearances. 3 goals in 9 appearances, 1 every 3 games. Yeah, it ain't bad, but they were. I mean, they were not important goals, really, were they? I think the Solihull Moors one was quite an important goal when he came on as a sub. But I didn't use him as much because he was not performing when he was in the team. So, like I said, I've got a decision to make. We'll see if he's out of contract. No budget. Is there a budget yet? No. Says Maidstone can reflect on the job well done this season as they defied expectations and finished with a very credible campaign of work to their name. The Stones consistently defied the odds from the outset, securing a playoff place, but were unable to finish the job at the end of the campaign. That's what it said. And we did. We defied expectations continuously. And we made what could have been a really poor season quite exciting by the end of it. But still, I'm going to go on these club vision and expectations. It'll probably say one thing and then change. And the next season, top half of the National League. Which I'm confident we can do, to be fair. Play defensively solid football. Do not sign players over the age of 30. Play possession football. Sign players under the age of 23 for the first team, which I've been doing, and make the most of set pieces. That changed, didn't it? It weren't like that. We didn't want to play defensively solid football before. So maybe I need to start looking at improving my defence. I'm playing a little bit less positive because the board have decided they want me to play different next season. I'm going to go and find out what the budgets are saying. I'm going to go and have a look at who I want to keep around the squad and who I want to get rid of. And I don't want to bore you with that. Right, the budgets have been set. As you can see, £28,500 a week wage budget and a transfer budget of just under 17,000, which, to be honest, at this level ain't the worst. If we just look at the finances, it means we're currently spending £22,353, committed spending £22,100. So we've got around about £6,500 a week wage budget. And then when I get rid of some players, we'll have even more. So that should be enough to get us some decent quality in. I've looked at the squad report for the team report for the end of the season, and our notable weakness is there's a lack of leadership in the squad. We've got poor decision making, we're poor off the ball, we lack flair. There's poor depth throughout the squad, which makes us have one of the worst squads in the league, which our lack of depth was notable last season. When we went through our injury crisis and that run of like 1 win in 8 games or whatever it was, that's when we really showed a lack of depth. Our attacking midfield options need improving, and we have low aggression and low commitment, which showed in that last game. The lack of commitment shown in that playoff semi-final was noticeable for all to see. But we know where we need to improve. We know the players that are probably not good enough anymore. We do have quite a few players whose contracts are expiring shortly. It's not as many as before. We do have quite a lot of options quite a lot of players that are still going to be here. So we're not completely rebuilding the squad like we did after the playoffs in the National League South. And we're not going to have to bring in a ton of players. But we do have Parks, Byrne, Campton Sturridge, Newby, Trotman, Dempsey, Barham, whose contracts are up at the end of this season, or the end of June. I've already said Byrne's going. He's too injury prone. He hasn't played well when he has played, and he's on £850 a week. I can put that money to better use. Parks has been our first team goalkeeper all season. I'm going to look at another option for first team goalkeeper, because I don't think, even though he's broke the record for most clean sheets, I don't think he's good enough to be that important first choice goalkeeper. So we'll see what happens with regards to that, because I don't know if he'll want a lesser contract. Campton Sturridge is one. He's been out on loan. I'm going to look and see. And then fringe players, Newby, Trotman and Dempsey will probably all go. They're not on the highest of wages for this level, but they're not on the lowest. They're like £650 a week is money I can spend elsewhere. Newby hasn't been bad, but he's 28 years old. He's not getting any better. So I might as well let him go. Dempsey, the same, 24 years old, only played 16 times for us. He looked like he was going to be better than he was, but he hasn't been very good. And then we've got our 3 loan players that are going to be going back. Flanagan wasn't good enough to play for us anyway. Carragher, maybe if we can bring him in on a permanent, I might keep him around. But he isn't ideal as a sort of centre back I want. He has poor decision making. His tackling isn't great. Well, they're 10. I mean, 10 is average. So it's only average. He's been okay, but if I can get better, then I'll take better. But then again, we weren't paying a penny for him, I don't think. So if we can get him back on a deal like that, maybe it's worth keeping him. And Alfie Lloyd is a player I definitely want to look to keep around because he's going to get better. He's 21 years old. He's going to get better. So we're going to probably look at trying to bring him in on a permanent. Probably not as a regular starter, though. I will look to be increasing the quality throughout the squad. So some players who are down as regular starters here, or even fringe players, are going to have to drop back to being fringe players or backup players. But that is going to wrap it up for this episode and for this season. That's the end of season 3 of our Maidstone United save. It's been a journey, to say the least. It's the 5th of May in game. I'll be back for the start of next season and to show you the transfers that have been made, the incomings and outgoings in the squad. And we'll look to go better than we did this season. Which means finally getting that promotion to the Football League. Thank you very much for watching that episode. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.